Hello, this is going to be a guide to Kayo on Icebox. So generally on Icebox, I'm going to be playing mid on Kayo. I will sometimes play A if I have a Sova. I basically never play B. So we're going to start off on defense. So the first thing I'm going to do is show knives on defense. I'll show knives on mid. So the first knife to show is this lineup, and this is going to detect B. So you want to line up with this bit of the K, with the like the circles on my knife icon, and then just throw, and it should land on this container, and it's basically unshootable. So if I show you, like, there's no way, like, they have to be like really far back. They have to be like over here, I think, to like shoot it. May even have to be on top of this box to shoot it. So I don't know. It's never really got shot. Sometimes jets will be able to shoot it if they do the updraft and dash. That's okay. You'll basically know if they did that then. Basically, if they destroy it, you know that there's a jet there. Updraft dashing and things, but you should know that anyway. I mean, teammate will probably hear it. Otherwise, you've got like this mid one here. Very normal one. A very good one as well. And this. There's also no, what am I doing? There's one for A. If you think they're coming A, then you can put it here. It's not a great one. It's similar to Sova's arrow. So I'll show A ones properly when I go A. But when I've got like a scan from this one, throw it again. If I get a scan from this one, or if I've thrown this one, I'm gonna drop down off boiler, and just play here, because here is a bit more threatening than here. I meant to ping and I just ulted, sorry. But basically I'm going to use like flashes here to control mid. And when lining up KO flashes, you don't want to be right against the wall, because this is like one of the biggest mistakes KOs make, is that you give them a lot more time to react to your flash. The more they can see it for further in the air when it detonates over here, right? When it detonates here, it's like way easier for me to react if I see that. However, if I'm like further back from the corner and it detonates basically on the corner, it detonated here rather than here, like in like yeah. So it detonates like really close to the corner, but not close enough. So but far away enough from the corner that it's still gonna flash everything. And that's like the best kind of flash you want. You want it to be like very close to this corner, especially because when they're gonna peek this angle, they're gonna be looking like up here or here. So they're going to be looking right at the flash, basically regardless of where they are. I'm just in terms of mollies, there's like one molly, just this one. If you see them cross or hear them cross, you molly this and then you can wallbang all this. Go A. So on A, I'm going to be doing a couple of different knives. There's the first knife that is generally like probably the most common, or like the most reliable one is this one. What am I doing? I'm like misclicking everything. Let me do that again. Misclicking everything today. So this knife is going to basically see all of this corridor, and it's going to see basically most of belt. So everyone that's walking up belt is going to get scanned by this. It is shootable if they're fast enough and you're slow enough with the knife. So you can fire it instantly and they basically can't react to it. You can also do this one, which is also not very shootable, but it only detects belt. Same with this one, but it's very shootable and detects belt. I would recommend just doing this one majority of the time and mixing up with this one. And those are basically the main two. If I'm feeling very confident against the enemy team, I sometimes play this angle to beat people on belt. And with that, I can also have a knife like this to test if they're close, if it's late round, or like not late round, but like 10 seconds in, 5 seconds in. That's definitely not late round. Just to check if they're actually here, if it's just one or two, or this is usually if no one's peeked me belt. Obviously, if you get your util out in this angle, there's a chance you just get one tapped if they swing you at unlucky timing. There's also oh no, wait, that's pretty much it for knives. I think you can use it in conjunction with the rope jump. So the rope jump is this, where you go across the rope and then you double tap the rope and make it across here. So you can throw util just as you're taking the rope, and you can also do it right before the rope jump too. So on this portion of the rope jump, it is possible to throw like a flash and jump. I stuck, but it is possible. If you're better than me, it is possible to do this. Jesus, really making it look too hard, aren't I? Can't even jump now. Okay, very, very skilled individual I am. There you go. Just don't flash yourself as well. That's also ideal. Okay. Okay, so that's basically for like the rope jump and knives on A. So on the so flashes on A are going to be fairly self-explanatory. Sometimes I'm going to play here and I can flash like this right in the corner. Lines up perfectly with his right-click flash. You can just aim at this line, right-click flash, and it's going to detonate very, very close to the corner. They're not going to be able to react to it, and you've got all this right. And then sometimes I have a Viper, and the Viper is going to wall like this sometimes, or they're going to wall this deep. Can't ping again, but it's going to be like this sort of line. So I'm going to use their walls to flash out of. And also the same thing applies where if you've got a Viper wall in front of you, you don't want to be right up against it when you're flashing. You want to be like a bit of a distance away. So when you flash, the flash just about makes it through the wall, and they have 0 time to react to the flash. So they're instant flashed. It's really, really broken that way. There's also this enemy wall is probably going to go here, and you can use that if you hear someone like pushing pipes or maze, whatever people call it, and then you can use that to flash too. Sometimes I'll also play up here. I can flash out like this. Not the greatest of flashes, neither is this one. It's just one of those things where you mix it up. You've played like maybe this angle the whole time. They're going to expect you there. So instead, you're going to do this instead. You're going to be annoying on the top bit. And then mollies for a defense is fairly self-explanatory. You're just going to usually use it in this sort of choke point. I'm pretty sure there's also a lineup from this point as well. It's, I think, jump here and do this. It could be wrong. Pretty sure that's right. Yeah, it is. So it stops them from planting, and it also stops them from getting through here properly. And then in terms of ults, generally you're going to use your ult when you're on site. You don't want to use it in mid, unless you're retaking, right? So you can use your ult on retake, or you can use it maybe if you're on site and they're pushing you, you can just use it backside. Be annoying. Generally, on defense, you want to be playing with your ult, but when you're playing with your ult, you don't have to be aggressive. You definitely should be the most aggressive on your team, probably, right? But you should not be like as aggressive as to like push everything, like push it all up here. Because even though you don't insta die, there's places in the map where you basically are going to definitely die. So say if they have control of a site or like front side like this sort of area, so beyond these two pings, then you don't want to be running up into this area with your ult on, because you're basically unrevivable. So what's the point in not, like, you might as well just die instantly. You don't really do much else. You maybe silence them for a bit longer, yeah, I guess, but your ult would probably do the same thing from this position than it would from this position. It's just that you see a lot less in this position, but you silence them for the same amount of time. So generally you want to combine the two. You want to make sure you can silence them for the majority of the time, at the same time as not fully dying. So you have basically a get a gel free card with your ult, as long as you position correctly. So you want to make sure that you're positioning fairly aggressively compared to the rest of your team, but you don't want to be like as aggressive as to give up the chance to like be revived. So you want to be like fairly aggressive but not aggressive. So you like holding angles that are like really like in their kind of territory, but you can kind of like very slowly like claw it back as defense. Also works on retake as well. So when you're retaking, you want to be honestly more aggressive when you're retaking, because you are against the clock. If like they haven't taken, so yeah, that's when you like are slow with it. And but when you're like retaking, you're going to be like maybe a bit more in there, like checking all the angles, and like being aggressive, trying to push them like from like getting into post plant positions, from like prison or belt or something. And then we'll go on to B now, I think. Now I've shown everything on A events. So on B, I don't really play B a huge amount, but these containers are really, really good for his flashes. So you can do like this, good flash. Like he just gets really good flashes from these containers. Really good back flash, back yellow flash as well. Very good. You would usually just throw a knife like this as well. Basically unkillable. I mean, you can detect everyone. completely fine. You might want to, you can molly this and then fight this as well, fight these people here, because these people can't contest you. They can't peek through your molly anymore. I say anymore, they can't peek through your molly anyway. They couldn't do that before anyway. You also have the other, like, an advantage as well. You can go shotgun and like sit in this corner with a flash aim. As soon as you hear someone come close, you just flash and then shotgun them. Also, I mean, you don't have to do it with a shotgun, you can just do it with a Vandal team. It's very possible with a Vandal team. Shotgun is like easy mode. But it's also 1-for-1, like, probably. Because there's going to be someone here that's going to shoot you. So maybe Vandal is actually straight better. Also, other mollies you can do. Bounce them off like this to get the orb, if you hear the orb being taken, stuff like that. Also have this flash from here. It's actually back yellow, I think. Or, I don't even know what I actually call this compared to this, thinking about it. I usually call this back yellow and this back yellow. I just realised that. That's not good. Maybe this should be called steel floor. Something. Or steel. I don't know. And ignore me, I guess. Well, maybe there's like something else. Hair? I don't know. What we will call this. Does it have a name on the map? Yeah. All good. Well, you flash from this position. Very strong flash. They basically can't come out without getting flashed. You can also do it from here. It's just all about knowing the flash angles and like where people are most likely going to put their crosshair. And this is a very popular place to put their crosshair. From literally every angle. But they're not going to like react to this. Like they're going to see this and be full blind. Same with this angle as well, especially like if they don't have like the smoke up and they go to plant with the sage wall or something. There's always going to be someone in this angle that's going to be trying to protect this. So if you flash them, there's a chance you can get a kill on the planter. And then it goes on to like mollies. Unfortunately, I don't actually have a molly lineup for this, but on the bright side, you don't need one anymore with Kayo because his stuff goes through walls. So you can just throw it like this, and it will go through any sage wall that's being put up. So recommend just being in this position. If you think they're going to plant, if you're on B. He's actually better at B than I thought he was. Maybe this molly change, the molly change where he didn't need line of sight with his molly. Maybe his molly doesn't need line of sight. Maybe that change is what's made him like so much better on B. Because then he can like deny the plant without having to like bounce his molly awkwardly off things and be in weird positions. Also an obvious flash is this one. Another obvious flash is this one. And there you go. That's basically fence B, I guess. Ult is kind of the same, you know. If they're like running into your sight, you can ult and then just hold fairly aggressive angles. And then if you're retaking, you're going to be way more aggressive. You're going to be like running into like main or yellow. Probably better this way to go this way. The ult, and then you're going to check these harder angles to check because they're definitely like harder to check than back yellow is. So you want to be like conjuring into the thick of it when you're retaking with your ult. Because your silence is like really impactful as well, so you want to make sure it's hitting everyone, including anyone that's like playing for lineups like really far back over here. So going through this area rather than back yellow is probably a lot more beneficial. You can see like I'm pretty sure that it's his noise circle is the his noise circle is the range on his ult, so you can see it's hitting like quite far back. But back here it's not actually hitting like near the shed or anything, so it's not going to attack like it's not going to be able to hit like the Sovers, the Vipers playing for lineups. Here is definitely better. Okay, so we're going to move on to attack. Okay, so on attack, Kayo's like one of those agents where you want to be doing like set plays. So there's like set good plays you can do at the start of the round that's going to give you information and potential free kills at the start, or like not really free kills, but kills at the start. So his first set play, I'm going to start off with A. So on aim, the first set play you can do is going to be you run up here. You don't jump off this, because if you jump off this, you actually take full damage here. So don't jump off this. Just fall off it. You don't take full damage if you fall. You basically line up around with this window, with like the edge of this window, and then you throw like this. And what that does is going to detect all of sight, and anyone playing close can't actually shoot this dart. This knife. It's not actually hittable very easily. You have to kind of be like far out like this, or like in this position. And it's also like they're going to be looking here, so they have to go all the way up here to get it. It's a hard knife to get unless you do it every time, so I wouldn't recommend doing it every time, but majority of the time you can do this. A good set play for a knife, and then after that, part of the set play is to then flash like this, and then you have like potential kills on anyone playing in this kind of position. It fully clears this position, after the silence. It also makes it hard to play these kind of positions, or this position, or this position, because the flash will actually hit them very, very lightly. So then as soon as they get flashed, they're going to think, well, might get peeked here, so I've got to go run back, right? Then you start to take a lot of space on the site. And after this like set play, you can, just straight up walk up. It's a really good play for, okay. Make sure you throw the flashes better than me. So just like line up about here, and then throw. And then you've basically got like this area kind of taken. Obviously you still need to check corners. Please check corners. You got kind of this area kind of taken. And then you can just like start sending more util. So from this position, you've basically got one flash, one fragment left. You can send a flash back site. You can send a fragment back site. You can send a flash in sandwich. And that will flash people in screens, so you can actually cross this area. There's probably a better flash to do. Maybe it's like over the top like this. That'll definitely flash everyone in screens. And then you can like cross with the fragment as well. So you probably place the fragment and flash. Actually, just don't try and miss all your util, honestly. So I literally miss every single thing. Wait for the flash to detonate. Then you can play up here and things like that, right? And if you've got ult is exactly the same. You can save your knife as well. So, on the same set play, instead of doing this knife, you can just ult. The only disadvantage to this is that you don't know how many people are there. You don't know how many people are there. But they are going to be definitely silenced, and you're going to be able to just run onto site. Mostly uncontested if your team's with you. Alternatively, you can knife. I wouldn't recommend ulting then knifing. I recommend knifing then ulting. And then you would do the flash. There you go. Way to take A. And that's basically the default as well. So on a default, if your team wants you to like default A, then you can do exactly the same as this. You just need to be wary that you can get pushed close if you don't have anyone with you. Someone's not playing with you here. Generally on a default Icebox, there's usually one person A, one person B, and 3 mid. Sometimes there's 2 A, 2 mid, 1 B, or sometimes, actually no, that's pretty much the 2 or 3 that I know. Also, there's also a flash you can do if you know that they like to op on here, then you can throw, as soon as the round starts, you can just absolutely send a flash. And that will actually flash like here, and then it will actually flash any oppers playing here, so your teammates can get out. You just want to full send the flash, and it will just about detonate. It'll just about get past this wall and detonate in their sight line, so they can't actually continue to op this. So that's just like mainly if you don't have a Sova, because if you do have a Sova, then he can just send a dart in to scan them, and that will usually deter them from staying posted there. But then that's pretty much it basically for A. For attacking A. If you want to go through mid, there's a couple of stuff you can do mid. So a knife I like to do if I'm going to go mid. There you go. Mainly going to be getting like sages in the kitchen, or someone sitting on boiler like a Sova or a Kayo. The odd Rainer maybe. Depends on how well your rank game is going. But yeah, other than that, like, there's going to be, maybe you have a Viper, you're going to have a mid smoke here. So yeah, in this mid smoke you have 2 options. You might just want to go through with your team. In that case, you want to throw this flash, and then it flashes everyone, like everyone in like these positions that can watch you come out. There's also if you want to play through mid and go A, then you can flash it out the smoke. There'll be like a Viper smoke here. Sometimes even the enemy will smoke it, but I doubt it. And then if you didn't throw the original knife that I showed you, you can at this point then throw this knife. And in terms of fragments, you kind of want to be saving your fragments. There's not really great places to fragment, so you want to be saving your fragment for potential, like if you plant here, then maybe you want to like take CT together. You all take CT together, and then you have a molly. You can throw the bomb from here or something, or you can just play it normally from over here, or play it even more like pretty standard from over here. Maybe you just do the normal plant and you want to sit back yellow. Same thing applies. I don't have any lineups for the fragment because you don't need them, because the way that Kayo plays, you don't really want to be like very far away from your team. You want to be one of the first contacts most of the time. And then when attacking B, or just attacking B, like from main, because you've got no drone. If you have a Sova, then you can just let him drone this. But if you don't have a drone or anything, you have to take a risk, or you can do something like this, scan close, or you can take a risk, go do this one. I don't actually have a lineup for his knife here. I've never actually done one, so I'm not going to do one now. You can also do it like this. Probably a bit safer to do it like this. And there's also one if you want to take a bit more of a risk. It could be on top yellow, and you can do this too. There's a bunch of knives you can do. There's also just generally, if they think they're going to op here, you can flash this corner. Same goes for this one. And there's also a left click flash you can do like that, and that's going to flash people out. So if you have like maybe a Raze and a Jet, or a Raze and a Rain, or Jet and a Rainer or something, and they're running out really fast, then you can flash for them like this, and you can see the flash goes and flashes back at like this part of yellow. It's going to flash all the CT, going to flash this angle. So they're going to have a good time basically peeking all these angles when everyone's flashed. And then at that point, I usually like to go on top of this. And then usually I'm going to Viper Wall here. Sometimes I'll fragment this to stop any pushes if they've got like a chamber who hasn't used TP yet or something. I know he hasn't used his TP. Or I'm going to fragment this while my teammate's planting. And then post plant, I'll probably play down here, and I'll throw underarm flashes when they like tap the bomb or whatever. Same with back yellow. I can also play the same way. There's also knives like this when they're like planting, or like when they're defusing, sorry. By just silencing them, you can stop them from like smoking the bomb, like re-smoking the bomb or something. And then obviously flashes around corners, so very useful on KO. If you want to attack B with ult, I would still recommend knifing, especially if you don't have like a Skydog or a Sova drone. I recommend like coming to this point, probably knifing like this, ulting. Or you can do the other knife like this one. This one, the yellow one's probably the more impactful knife. And then you're going to ult and run forward. If you're attacking, you want to be trying to take space. Unless you've got like a Viper Wall, Sage Wall, then you also like a Viper Wall and a Sage Wall up behind. Then at this point in the ult, you probably just want to be posted looking at these angles. Maybe this angle if the Viper Wall is down. You don't really want to be taking fights in mid because you don't need to. Because at this point, like if you've got your K ult on, and you're taking fights in these angles, then you're basically dead if you get killed. Like everyone else, basically, it's just that it takes a bit longer for you to die, because you're just sitting there like on the ground. So you want to be playing a bit like further back, you know, like so this angle's fine because you probably have a Viper Wall that can go up and then someone can revive you during it. You might get spammed and die still, but it is what it is. At least you were like kind of playing like a better angle, a revivable angle. You know, teammate can also like fake it as well, and then just like see where the bullets come from, maybe get a free kill through a smoke. So you know, there's like options if you play with your team with your ult, rather than if you just go off on your own. And because what's the point in having a revive if you don't actually play with your team so they can revive you? It's kind of pointless. Also, if they do try and break the wall, then you should like if they break the wall and your Sage is like struggling to plant, you can run up with the Sage and try and like take more space. Then she's got more opportunity to plant. This probably does lead to your death, but at least maybe lead to the Sage planting and then potentially winning the round afterwards. With Kayo, it's all a bit like knowing when's like a good time to go in, and sometimes when the good time is to like die for space. Similar to Duelist in that sense, like Phoenix, where there's like times where you just need to make space, and if you die doing it, sometimes you'll win the round anyway because you've made that space. Sometimes, you know, someone pops off and the space doesn't matter, but it's what it is, you know. And that's kind of like similar to the way Kayo sort of plays. But his knife does add like a layer of difficulty to him, where you want to be able to like save your knife if you've got a Sova. So if you've got a Sova, you want to let him recon, and then you've got a choice at that point. If he recons at the start of the round, then you want to either wait 15 seconds and then throw knife, or you want to wait for the execute onto the site if you're on defense, before you throw your knife again. Before you throw your knife, so then you're silencing them as they're coming onto site. And on attack, it's more, you want to be using the 15 seconds. So when your Sova throws his dart, make a note of the time. 15 seconds after, you want to throw a knife. So the reason being, if I go on, where's infinite abilities? Turn that off. So he's got 40-second timer. I'm pretty sure Sova dart has 40 seconds as well. So all you want to do, 15-20 seconds. Every 15-20 seconds, you want to have like an interval of these util, right? Of this util. Okay, so that was the end of the video. If you liked it, then give it a like. If you want to see more, then subscribe. And if you didn't like it, then leave me a comment and feedback. Always appreciated. So yeah, thank you, and I'll see you in the next one.